I've been getting a lot of comments recently asking how is Alice able to see the werewolves in the fight scene in Breaking Dawn Part 2, and also how is she able to see that cursed, forsaken CGI mess vision of Jacob and Rabbitfish in the future when it was emphatically established that Alice cannot see the werewolves nor Roy Rogers in her visions. The answer is she doesn't. Neither of those things happen in the book. They're just cursed movie additions that nobody asked for. Now, as far as the final battle, I do understand from a film perspective why they added a scene like that to make it more palatable and give a wider audience something to watch, because Breaking Dawn is such a joke. But personally, I have never been a fan of the fight scene. I think it's dumb, and I always found it very predictable, and I just don't like fight scenes in general. I get why people do like it, but one of the other reasons I always thought it was so stupid is because Alice should not be able to see that. The rationalization given in the books, though it's not solidly confirmed, it's like theorized that Alice can't see things that she hasn't been. So she can see the future of humans and vampires because she's been both of those things. But she can't see Jacob or remonetization because she's never been a werewolf or a hybrid. Now, I don't think this logic really holds up either, because we know that Alice saw James in her visions while she was still human in the asylum, and she had never been a vampire at that point. But as far as this cursed imagery from the uncanny valley of Jacob and Rivers Cuomo in the future, that obviously does not happen in the book, and not a single person asked for that one. Nobody wanted this, and I just have to say, why did they CGI cluster F over these poor girls' faces like that? Like, we talk a lot about the doll, rightfully so, and like the cursed like child CGI, but like this is pretty bad. Nobody wanted to see the cursed future vision, but before anybody says it, if you're about to call Jacob an XYZ and blame him for his involuntary enslavement, because that's what imprinting is, reminder that the only person you can blame for imprinting is Stephenie Meyer for writing it. The wolves have no autonomy. They are quite literally servants who lose their free will. It is literally described that way. And the imprinter has no say in the trajectory of the relationship. And in the book, it is never Jacob making the suggestive comments about he and Rutabaga. It's actually Edward. The "can I call you dad" thing also does not happen in the book. Edward actually calls Jacob his son and makes a bunch of other whack comments as usual. We know from Clownward himself, who can read Jacob's mind, that he has none of those thoughts, and that does not cross his mind. We all hate that Jacob imprints on Bella and Edward's weird little demon kid. So blame Stephenie for writing it, and Breaking Dawn Part 2 for this senseless affront that was not even in the book. Books end when Radio Teletype is like 3 months old. They are not together in canon. When I tell you Breaking Dawn Part 2 is such an affront,